that this 1.5-day training will follow the COVID-19 regulations issued by Ministry of Health. Please wear masks and keep social distancing. Before proceeding to the first sessions of today, let me first walk you through the agenda of the training. On day 1, from 8:30 to 9, we had our registrations done. From 9 to 10, there will be an introductory sessions which welcoming remarks will be delivered. From 10 to 10:15, we will all have a group photo sessions, followed by a 15-minute coffee break. From 10:30 to 12, there will be the first panel discussion on COVID-19 response. From 12 to 2 p.m., we will have our lunch break and we will come back at 2 p.m. From 2 to 3:30, the first sessions on Cambodia ODA database customizations will happen. From 3:30 to 3:45, there will be a coffee break. From 3:45 to 5 p.m., the second panel discussions on cross-cutting thematic marker will happen by focusing on climate change and gender. And that is all for the first day of the training. On day 2, from 8:30 to 8:45, we will recap what we have done in the first day. From 8:45 to 10:15, our second sessions on demonstrations and practice will take place by having a presentations and data entry practice. There will be a coffee break follow the second sessions, and from 10:30 to 11, the third sessions will happen on data quality assurance. We will have a group breakout. From 11 to 11:45, we will have the fourth sessions, which is plenary sessions, where each rapporteur from the 3 groups will come and present what they have discussed in the previous session. And finally, we will have our closing sessions between 11:45 and 12. And this is all for on our agenda. To begin, I have a great honor to cordially invite Excellency Ching Yanara, Minister attached to the Prime Minister, Secretary General of CRDP CDC, to deliver the welcoming remarks. Please, Excellency.
Very good morning, Excellencies, friends, colleagues from the Royal Government of Cambodia, ministries, agencies, and from development partners. It's a great pleasure for me to warmly welcome you all to the training on Cambodia ODA database under the theme of impacts of COVID-19, tracking development cooperation. First, I would like to express my appreciation to Excellency Samthi, Deputy Secretary General of the National Council for Sustainable Development, Ministry of Environment, for our extensive collaboration on tracking development cooperation, in particular climate change financing. I would also like to express my special thanks to Mr. Anthony Robert Gill, Acting Country Director of Asia Development Bank, Mr. Sang Jung Ching, Deputy Country Director of COICA, Dr. Rosita Armitage, Aid Effectiveness Advisor at the Australian Embassy, Dr. Stephen Hermanson, Head of the Program GIZ, Mrs. Tu Chan Darani, National Economist from UNDP, for your confirmation to be panelists. My warm welcome is also extended to development partner representative, as well as all data entry focal points and colleagues from the Royal Government, ministries, agencies, for your participation in our training workshop, both physically and virtually, especially the representative of the Ministry of Environment and Ministry of Women Affairs for the confirmation to participate in the panel discussion. Our training today takes place at a hybrid format at a critical time when countries around the world, including Cambodia, are struggling with the COVID pandemic, which is far from over, given the surge of its new variants. However, with an optimistic belief, the vaccines offer a strong hope of survival and recovery, and everyone needs to live in the new normal context. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, under the vice leadership of Samdech Techo Hun Sen, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia, the Royal Government of Cambodia has made great efforts by deploying a whole of government approach and in collaboration with and support from all stakeholders, including development partners, as a whole of society approach to put the pandemic under control. The vaccination program began in early February 2021 and has quickly accelerated. Cambodia is currently one of the most vaccinated countries in the world. As of mid-November, Cambodia reached a full vaccination rate of 88% of its population of 16 million, including adults, teenagers, children aged between 6 and 12. In addition, the Royal Government also officially launched the vaccination campaign for the 5-year-old children on 1st November 2021. Alongside, the Royal Government has launched a series of key policy measures and interventions to combat COVID-19 and to mitigate the collateral damage in COVID-affected sectors, namely garment and manufacturing, tourism, and construction. In collaboration with all stakeholders, the Royal Government has succeeded to maintain macroeconomic stability and sustain livelihood of the most affected groups, including ID poor family and vulnerable population. To facilitate this, the National COVID-19 Recovery Plan is being implemented based on the 3 interrelated pillars: revival, recovery, reforms, and resilience. Cambodia, under the leadership of the Royal Government of Cambodia, has received a lot of credentials and prestige by the prompt and effective response to COVID-19. Having boasted by one of the world's highest rate of immunization against COVID-19, Samdech Techo Prime Minister has reopened Cambodia border to fully vaccinated travelers 2 weeks earlier than originally planned, move up from 30th November to 15th November, to start revitalizing the country economic and social activities. Restriction on domestic tourists, schools, and other sectors were also lifted at the start of November, as learning to live with the virus is increasingly being seen as the way forward in the new normal context. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Royal Government has witnessed effective support from development partners that have contributed to COVID-19 response in Cambodia. At the same time, many development partners, both bilateral and multilateral partners, for example, UN system, EU, ADB, Japan, Korea, Australia, has reviewed and reprioritized their cooperation program to ensure effective support to the post-COVID-19 socio-economic recovery in Cambodia. On that basis, CDC has revisited and customized its Cambodia ODA database to be able to record support from development partners to COVID-19 response. In the meantime, in line with our commitment to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, CDC has put a critical step forward to tracking development cooperation related to Cambodia's Sustainable Development Goal, the CSDGs. This initiative will serve as one of the fundamental platforms for annually monitoring the CSDG implementation, including the National Voluntary Review, as well as the monitoring exercise of the National Strategic Development Plan, the NSDP. On that basis, our two-day training is therefore significant and conducted in such a momentum, especially in the fast evolving context of global and national development cooperation landscape. This training is one of our routine efforts to ensure high quality data for analysis, monitoring, evaluation, and evidence-based policy making. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, before concluding my remarks, I'd like once again to take this opportunity to express on behalf of the Royal Government of Cambodia our sincere appreciation to all development partners for their continued support and commitment contributing to Cambodia's socio-economic development today, and especially during these challenging circumstances. I'm confident that the training today will form a fruitful outcomes that enrich future cooperation and development partnership in Cambodia, and will further strengthen working relationship, particularly to ensure quality data, producing rigorous analysis, and making prudent policy recommendation. I wish to conclude my remarks with these optimistic views. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I now like to invite Excellency Samti, Deputy Secretary General of the National Council for Sustainable Development, Ministry of Environment, to give his remark. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
But ជាបឋមអរគុណអាដាមជាងចន្ទរជាងយន្តរាបាទខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណយ៉ាងជ្រាលជ្រៅបាទExcellencies, lady and gentlemen, Excellency Chiang Yanara, Minister attached to Prime Minister, Secretary General of the CODB CDCs, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Today it is my great pleasure to be with you here today in the trainings on database trainings. And it is very good news that we can gather today because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I think now our country is gradually open. The National Council for Sustainable Development has been working closely with CDC, CODBs on climate finance tech change, on in database The thematic is very important because it will track how the development partners support Cambodia and how Cambodia can support us, can report the support received from the development partners. And I think this is very important because under the Paris Agreement on climate change, development partner, especially the developed countries, has requested all parties of the UNFCCC report report the support received by development partner, by the by bilateral or by multilateral. The transparency of these trackings and reporting is very important in terms of how development partner can support Cambodia in address climate change. With financial support from Cambodia Climate Change Alliance, funded by EU, UNDP, Sweden, we have been working with CDCs, CRDBs to strengthen the accuracies of climate change database data, including training of focal point of development partners. In this point, I also would like to stress that we need to have accuracies on the record, because I think if every support has noted as climate change, we have to think what is the implications of the support, whether the finance support for climate change increase, but the other support, for example, to human health, to other sector will reduce. It is not good indicators for us. So it is very important to have good balance and also the transparent of. We observe that self-reporting by development partner, particularly on climate change tagging, has improved in the last few years. We would like to thank all partners present here today for contributing to better transparency and accuracies on climate finance. For development partner, for developing country like Cambodia, it is essential to ensure that international climate finance commitment from developed countries to developing countries are met. Without this external support, we will not be able to achieve the transition to a low carbon, resilient economies and other climate response. As we have known recently in COP26 in Glasgow, UK, development partner has not yet reached the commitment to provide support 100 billion per year to developed countries to address climate change. And we hope that in 2023, development partner will be ready to provide this support. Actually, it is also luckily that a few development partner has provided a lot of funds through COP26 to least developed country fund and to adaptation fund. So I think this is very important for Cambodia to be ready to absorb the fund. We also contribute this transparency not only reflecting climate finance data in CRDB, CDC database, but we also on the national data portal on climate change. Our colleague from Climate Change, Cambodia Climate Change Alliance here will be a panelist and will provide some guideline, recommendation, suggestion for tackling climate finance. I would like to conclude my remark by thanking all development partner for continued support Cambodia, and we really need support this to address climate change. One more thing I would like to add that recently we have Ministry of Environment also working with ADB to submit proposal to the Green Climate Fund, and project had already passed. The project will be it's in the context of coping COVID-19 in the context of climate change. So it is a regional project, and I hope the line ministry, especially Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Agriculture, will play the role to implement this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency Minister and Excellency Somthi, for your insightful welcoming remarks. Now we are moving to group photo sessions. Before we have a coffee break, I would like to invite Excellency, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, please come to the stage for group photo sessions. And for those who join us online, please turn on your camera. Thank you. Please turn on your camera.